Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Air India Express has sacked 30 employees, a day after 300 cabin crew members reported sick and turned off their mobile phones. The protest forced the airline to cancel 76 domestic and international flights on Thursday, which left hundreds of passengers stranded. The airline has issued an ultimatum and urged those on leave to report to work by 4 p.m. Thursday or face action. It also threatened more terminations if the protest was not resolved. Reports said staff at the airline have been demonstrating against the new terms of employment and unequal treatment. The low-cost carrier, which is a division of Air India, is owned by the Tata Group. The group also owns Vistara, a full-service carrier, where pilots staged similar demonstrations over new pay structures recently. The head of the Congress Party's overseas branch, Sam Pitroda, has resigned his post after a backlash over his comments that were considered racist by many. On Wednesday, Pitroda said, South Indians look like Africans and people in the northeastern states look like the Chinese, when he apparently tried to mean that India was a diverse country. The comments, which came in the midst of elections, are thought to have damaged the Congress Party more than anyone else. Politicians, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and chief ministers from two northeastern states, were quick to criticize. The row erupted just days after Pitroda's remarks on inheritance tax went against the interests of the Congress Party, forcing it to fight back to minimize its effects. A state-owned Russian news network has reported that the U.S. was trying to destabilize the ongoing Indian elections. RT News, which quoted a Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson, said Washington lacked understanding of India's national mindset and its allegations over religious freedom in India was unfounded. According to reports, the Foreign Ministry comment comes after a report by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom criticized violations of religious freedom in the country. The Russian statement said the report was aimed at disrupting the political situation in India and to complicate the Indian election. India has rejected the U.S. report and said its observations were interference in its internal affairs and propaganda against the country. Hotel and restaurant owners in Ooty in Tamil Nadu have said they would observe a shutdown demanding the withdrawal of the government pass needed to visit the hill station. The entry pass, which is issued online, is mandatory for visitors arriving by private vehicles in Ooty and Kodaikanal, and people travelling by state-run buses are exempted from the rule. The Madras High Court came up with the idea to control the number of visitors hitting the hills to escape the summer heat in the cities. The restriction was imposed at the start of the week, and businesses that are entirely dependent on tourists say the measure has severely affected their revenues.
இந்த இ-பாஸ் நடைமுறைக்கு வந்தால் இன்னும் நாங்கள் நலிந்தடை போயிடுவோம். இதனால எங்களுக்கு வாழ்வாதாரம் ரொம்ப மோசமா இருக்கு. எங்களோட வாழ்வாதாரம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்டு, தங்கும் விடுதி, சாலை வியாபாரிங்க எல்லாரும் அத்தனை பேரும் ஒண்ணுமே பிசினஸ் இல்லாம. ஏன்னா இது மே மாச டைம்ல எங்களுக்கு இந்த ஒரு மாசம் தான் இருக்கு இந்த சீசனு. மாவட்ட நிர்வாகமும் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து எங்களுக்கு நல்ல ஒரு முடிவு எடுத்து இந்த இ-பாஸை ரத்து பண்ணுமாறு எங்க காட்டேஜ் அசோசியேஷன் சார்பாக கேட்டுக்கிறோம்.
Ooty's iconic flower show is set to open at the Botanical Garden on Friday. The annual event, which runs for 10 days, is a big hit with the tourists. Alongside, the Rose Garden hosts an exclusive display of roses, showcasing a wide variety. To encourage the locals to see the flower display, authorities have declared a holiday across Nilgiri district. One of the most well-known hill stations in Tamil Nadu, Ooty was established as a summer resort by the British, and it still has many signs of India's colonial past. A toy train is another attraction at the hill station. It travels up the hill through woodlands and over bridges built during the British era. The countdown to the opening of the doors to India's famous Kedarnath temple is underway amid worship and Vedic chants. Reports say the temple in Uttarakhand state has been decorated using 4,000 kilos of flowers. The temple, one of the most revered in the country and dedicated to Hindu god Shiva, stays open for 6 months. During this time, devotees in large numbers from within and outside India visit the sacred site. Kedarnath is one of the 4 stops in the Hindu pilgrimage, referred to as the Char Dham, or 4 temples set in different locations in the Himalayan region. The temples are best known for their scenic settings and importance among India's ancient pilgrim sites. A woman caught up in a row in West Bengal's Sandeshkhali Island has denied that she signed a complaint of rape against workers of the governing Trinamool Congress. According to reports, the woman, who was not named, said she was asked to sign on a blank paper by a person who wanted to know their grievances. Sandesh Khali village was thrust into the spotlight after investigators from the Enforcement Directorate were attacked when they came to probe financial crimes against local leader Sheikh Shah Jahan. Later reports of rape and land grabbing in the town were blamed on Shah Jahan and his men, which led to clashes between the BJP and Trinamool Congress. The row went before the court before Shah Jahan turned himself into the authorities after being on the run for some time. With only 79 days to go before the France Olympics kicks off, the Olympic torch reached the port city of Marseille in the south of the country. The torch was brought ashore after a 12-day voyage on the 128-year-old sailing ship Belém, which originated in Greece. Over 1,000 boats formed a flotilla to welcome the Belém to Marseille. In front of an estimated 150,000 spectators, including President Emmanuel Macron, Marseille-born French rapper Jules lit the Olympic cauldron for Paris 2024. Macron said, "The Games arrived in the lives of the French people, signaling the completion of preparations." The Olympic flame relay will head out of the Mediterranean coastal city and make its way across 6 overseas territories and all of France before landing in Paris on July 26th for the opening ceremony. Australia has revised conditions to qualify for a student visa, making it more difficult to get one now. According to reports, 75% of the federal minimum wage will now be needed as savings, which is approximately a little over 16 lakh Indian rupees, to acquire a visa. The purpose of the revision is to guarantee that students can afford the basic necessities of life while studying in the country. It is believed fulfilling this condition will help the students make better plans for the future. It is the second hike in the savings figure in 7 months. Australia Visa News reports that in July last year, a record 6.5 lakh temporary visas were issued, which is a significant rise compared to the previous year. President Joe Biden has warned Israel that the U.S. will halt the supply of some weapons if it launches a ground assault in the city of Rafah in the Gaza Strip. Despite repeated warnings, Israel seems poised to launch a massive assault on Rafah, which is currently home to 1.4 million people. Rafah is the last significant bastion of Hamas militants, which sits on the border with Egypt. U.S. authorities have said there could be many casualties in the event of an Israeli operation due to the large civilian population. The delivery of thousands of bombs to Israel has already been postponed by the U.S., and it has stated that it is examining further shipments. The Israeli government expressed its disappointment with the decision. In spite of international recommendations to phase out fossil fuels, Australia has declared it will increase its gas extraction and consumption until 2050 and beyond. The administration of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese claims that the action is necessary to facilitate the shift to net zero energy while bolstering the domestic energy supply. The International Energy Agency has called for huge declines in the use of coal, oil, and gas in order to meet climate targets, which critics claim represents a rejection of science. One of the biggest exporters of liquefied natural gas worldwide, Australia, said it needs to stick to its commitment as a reliable trading partner. Currently, 27% of Australia's energy demands are met by gas, and the majority of domestic production is exported to nations like South Korea, Japan, and China. An ex-intelligence officer has revealed that Saudi authorities approved the use of deadly force to clear land for a futuristic desert city being developed by dozens of Western corporations. According to Colonel Rabi Al-Anetzi, he was given the order to drive out residents of a tribe in the country so that the project called The Line could be built. It is part of the bigger project known as Neom. Reports said one of the protesters was shot dead for demonstrating against the eviction. Entire villages, including homes, schools, and hospitals, have been wiped off in the eviction drive. Both the Neom management and the Saudi government have declined to comment. The $500 billion eco-region is part of the kingdom's Vision 2030 plan, aimed at diversifying the economy away from oil. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.